The starship Asterion drifted like a silver spear through the navy veil of deep space, its hull glimmering with the reflections of distant nebulae. Captain Elias Serrano stood on the viewing deck, staring out as stars slipped by in streaks of light. Humanity's frontier had expanded beyond imagination, yet peace remained fragile, always balancing on the edge of diplomacy and war. Elias had been chosen to lead the first diplomatic envoy to the Zakara Dominion, a civilization rumored to be older than humanity itself. Some whispered they were warriors bred for conquest. Others said they were philosophers who shaped galaxies with thought alone. The truth, Elias suspected, lay somewhere in between. His mission was unprecedented. Human and Zakaran fleets had circled each other for months, neither firing, neither retreating. An uneasy stalemate hung across the sector. Now, Elias would step into the heart of their empire, not as a conqueror, but as a voice of peace. He inhaled deeply. Behind him, the deck doors slid open. "Captain," said Lieutenant Rana Masick, her silver eyes calm but alert. "We've reached the Dominion flagship. They're ready for your arrival." "Thank you, Lieutenant." Elias straightened his uniform, black, with the silver crest of the United Galactic Council. "Prepare the landing party." Rana hesitated. "Are you sure about entering without protection? Our intel suggests Zakaran warriors can." Elias raised a hand. "Fear is what brought us to the brink of war. Trust is the only thing that can pull us back." Her jaw tightened, but she nodded. "Understood, sir." Moments later, Elias and a small delegation stepped into a beam of shimmering light. A hum filled the air as they were transported aboard the Zakaran flagship. They emerged into a vast chamber that defied architecture as humanity understood it. The ceiling arched high like a cathedral carved from dark crystalline matter, pulsing faintly with violet currents. Alien symbols etched along the walls glowed with energy, as though written by lightning across stone. It felt ancient, older than Earth's earliest civilizations, older even than human memory. Standing before them were dozens of Zakaran warriors, towering beings armored in living metal that shifted like ripples across liquid skin. Their eyes, luminous, gold, unblinking, locked onto the humans. At the far end of the hall stood the High Warlord, a figure of imposing strength. His armor marked with deep violet sigils that pulsed in rhythm with the room's energy. Unlike his soldiers, he held no weapon, only a staff crowned with a shard of crystal burning like a fragment of a star. Elias felt every instinct scream caution, yet his voice remained steady. "I am Captain Elias Serrano of the United Galactic Council," he announced. "I come not as a threat, but as one seeking understanding between our peoples." Silence fell, heavy, endless. The High Warlord stepped forward. His movements were graceful but carried the weight of a predator bred to command. "We have watched your kind," he said, voice resonant like thunder rolling through cavernous stone. "We have seen your wars, your hunger for territory, your fear of what you do not understand." His words did not carry accusation, only observation, as if relaying the nature of gravity or time. Elias met his gaze. "All species stumble before they learn to walk in peace. But we wish to rise, not fall." For a long moment, the alien warlord said nothing. Then, in one fluid motion, he lowered himself to one knee before Elias. Armor plates shifted like waves as his fist touched the ground. A murmur rippled through the chamber. Zakaran warriors exchanged startled glances, as if witnessing the impossible. The High Warlord's voice rang out, solemn and powerful. "Those who kneel do not do so in submission," he declared, "but in recognition. Humanity has chosen dialogue where others would choose destruction. You show the strength that only wisdom can grant." For this I honor you." And then, one by one, every warrior in the chamber knelt. Armor clinked like metal rain. Immense beings bowed their heads in unity and respect. Elias felt his breath catch. No part of his training had prepared him for this. The sight was humbling, terrifying, awe-inspiring beyond measure. His own delegation stared in disbelief. Lieutenant Rana whispered, "Sir, what do we do?" Elias stepped forward, voice steady despite the weight pounding in his chest. "Rise," he said gently. "Let no one kneel to another today. We meet as equals, so our future may stand on equal ground." A hum of energy coursed through the chamber. The High Warlord stood slowly, golden eyes bright with approval. "You speak as one destined to shape the stars," he said. "Not through domination, but through unity." A pause stretched, charged with new possibility. "Let this day be remembered," the Warlord proclaimed. "From this moment, the Zakara Dominion enters accord with humankind. We walk not as rivals, but as allies." A wave of relief washed through Elias, followed by a deeper understanding. The galaxy was changing, and he had stepped willingly into the heart of it. As formalities continued, Elias listened, observed, learned. These warriors, fierce beyond measure, bore scars not only from physical battles but from centuries of loss and mistrust. They were protectors forged by conflict, seeking purpose in a universe that feared them. For hours, human and Zakaran voices wove a new tapestry of diplomacy. Alliances discussed, exchanges planned. The future, once painted in colors of war, now glimmered with possibility. When the final agreements were sealed, the High Warlord placed a hand upon his chest in a gesture that radiated sincerity. "Captain Elias Serrano," he said, "you have altered the course of two civilizations. Where others saw only threat, you saw potential." Elias felt a quiet pride, not for himself, but for humanity's capacity to choose peace. "We all share the same stars," he replied. "It's time we shared the same future." A low, resonant tone echoed through the chamber, a sign the meeting had concluded. Elias and his delegation prepared for transport back to the Asterion. As the beam shimmered around him, Elias cast one last look across the hall. The warriors still stood in perfect formation, yet something subtle had shifted in their stance. Their gaze carried not suspicion, but respect, and perhaps even hope. The light enveloped him, and in a heartbeat, he was back aboard his ship. His bridge crew, tense with anticipation, rushed to meet him. "Captain," Rana asked softly, "how did it go?" Elias considered his words, then spoke with quiet conviction. "We did not avoid a war today," he said. "We began a friendship." Across the viewport, the Zakaran flagship glowed like a distant star, majestic and ancient. And for the first time since contact, its cannons were silent, not from fear but from trust. Humanity's future had taken a new path, not through dominance or retreat, but through courage, the courage to kneel not in submission but in understanding.